Tonight on Podcast Them Down, which NBA team is the most metal? We'll get at least halfway there. Cast them down. Hello, Metal Nation. It is we Podcast Them Down. Tim, Matt, Doug, and Mike. We got everyone here because we need to discuss something very serious, and that is how metal every single team in the National Basketball Association is. So, and you see, we've upgraded our metal teams presentation with this handy dandy slideshow. So, and as usual, we will be cataloging all the scores, and when all the counting's done, we'll see who's number one.
Did that
Feel free to chime in
or...
anytime, guys.
Well, you're just spitting hot fire over there. I don't want to interrupt your rap music.
All right.
Spitting hot fire.
So, like the other teams, you know, we did the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, and the CFL. We're finally doing the NBA. We'll be able to break it down to divisions and conferences and teams, and you know, there's a lot of good data to be had here. Yeah, so
I would just like to quickly add that I may be the worst person to have on this podcast, so I'm happy to be here.
I thoroughly disagree.
I think I might be the only person on this panel who's ever watched a full game of basketball as an adult.
You know how much Jordan versus Bird I played on NES?
Oh no!
Yeah, that's about where my basketball knowledge stops.
Oh, and don't forget NBA Jam.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did.
I can't wait till you're incensed that the Charlotte Hornets don't exist anymore.
Wait.
Yes, they do.
Do they still? Okay, is there still big head mode in the NBA, or is that gone?
No, this will be
I
great.
think that was a filter that Fox Sports put on.
Okay, and if I put in the right code, can I still play as Bill Clinton, or is that no longer part of the NBA?
Or does it? Or is it just the sitting president?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Remember the robots when Fox used to air hockey games and they'd fight?
I do remember.
Oh
that.
yeah.
Whatever happened to that? Thanks, Doug.
Went out with the because they used to do that. They highlight the puck. They don't do that shit anymore, right?
Some do actually. They brought it back, but now it's like image processing instead of changing the puck. But that's the other wintertime sport, you know. And we're recording this now, hopefully to beat opening day or whatever they call the first.
Oh my!
What is this? Baseball? We did the MLB. Come on. Okay,
we did
The first dribble.
Yeah,
That's what
it's definitely not the first dribble.
All right. So
this is gonna be great.
yes, it will. So we're gonna each give a score to each team, 0 to 10. In the interest of time, you can choose to justify it or not.
Okay.
And I'd like to get through at least 2 divisions today.
All right. Well, that seems fair.
Yes, but remember how long the flags took?
Well, we had a lot to say about the flags.
We
I'm
had
feeling we'll have less to say about basketball.
Somehow I doubt it, actually.
Combined history of those flags exceeds any of these teams.
even the Atlantic Division's first team.
This is my favorite team, Atlantic Division.
The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks was established in 1946 as part of the newly founded Basketball Association of America, which eventually became the NBA. The Knickerbocker name comes from a pseudonym used by Washington Irving in his book, A History of New York. The term refers to such trousers as crop trousers or pantaloons tucked beneath the knee, as it was an integral part of the image of the New World settlers.
I mean, that is correct.
It's not trousers. No.
Trousers.
I mean, it would be awesome if they were known as the New York pants.
Or even worse, the pantaloons.
No, I'd be into the pantaloons. I ain't into this. Yeah, this is like a 3.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. It's a 3. They're named the Pants.
I mean, the Knicks are a solid team. They're one of only 2 original NBA teams that are still located in their home city. So everybody else was kind of moved around. They are the second most interesting basketball team in New York. I will grant you that. I'm not going to give them a 3. I think they are a middle of the road. You know, they know that they can't do anything with Knickerbockers, so their logo is a basketball. I mean, that's impressive.
As you'll see, there are quite a few basketballs in logos.
But this is just like, I feel like the Knicks are default generic basketball team, which is why they get default generic score of 5.
It should be a basketball in pantaloons.
But is that metal?
They're doing the best with what they have to work with, so it is a 5.
I mean, I think pedantry is metal. I think literalism can be metal.
Okay, as before.
I mean, look at Tim's background.
What was the New York Rangers? Anyway, as before, I did not correct.
Oh no,
my typo.
No.
So next is the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh God!
All right, the Nets were founded in 1967 in the ABA before the NBA merger in 1976. The franchise played in New Jersey as the New Jersey Americans during the first season before moving to Long Island in 1968 and changed their name to New York Nets.
Yep.
The New Jersey Americans?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that necessary? Like, isn't that implied?
New Jersey. They're very. They would want you to know they're American.
Okay. So, all right.
Believe it or not, the nickname Nets was chosen because it rhymes with the other 2 New York teams, Mets and Jets. Mets, Jets,
that's
Nets.
smart.
Is it smart or is it incredibly dumb?
I say dumb.
The latter.
And then they moved to New Jersey. They moved back to New Jersey, and then they moved to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then they adopted the hipster scheme.
Yeah. I believe, I forget if it was the Devils or the Nets. I think it was the Nets. But when the Nets moved back to Brooklyn, Chris Christie was like, well, I guess it would be a big deal if they ever won any games.
Ooh.
That's good.
All
right.
This is as generic and boring and unexciting as the Knicks, so I gotta stay with a 3.
I mean, the move to Brooklyn was a big thing. I believe like Jay-Z, at least at some point, was a minority owner of the Nets. They kind of rejuvenated Brooklyn with the Barclays Center. I mean, it's a story team. I like their black on white like logo. It's very metal.
There's no net in their logo though.
I mean, they're verging on the hipster. They're verging on the punk. But I mean, I think if you're a crusty New Yorker, like a guy who lives somewhere, in the Bronx, like you're a Knicks fan. But if you're a cool, fun, like hip New Yorker,
if you live in Williamsburg,
like the kind of guy who likes foamed dishes and microbrews, you like the Nets. So I'm gonna give them a 6. I would like to think I'm as cool as the Nets. They're clearly the better New York team, and they're metal. People are mad at them. Yep.
That's a 5 for reasons slightly more concise than Matt's.
I give this a 2. And the reason I give it a 2 is that I agree with Tim, but I am annoyed by the redundancy in this logo because Brooklyn is at the bottom and then there's a B again.
You're right.
Pointless.
You are
which
right.
I realize is it's probably just so that they can put the basketball with the B on shirts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But in this context, it's pointless. So I'm annoyed.
I think you're right. Next up, Toronto Raptors. They joined the NBA in 1996. The original Raptor logo features a dinosaur in a basketball uniform with the letter R on its chest, dribbling a basketball. Hell.
What do you mean original?
They changed the logo, Doug.
They changed it. This is the new one. The current Toronto Raptors logo has a red basketball with black lines that resemble the dinosaur claw. No, wrong. This website's wrong. It's what happened to the basketball when the Raptor attempted to dribble it.
Or the Raptors holding it.
Yeah.
Out of those, it looks torn to me.
But it's still round and inflated.
Fair.
Well, it's because this is a slow motion camera.
Right. It's
We've
just
caught
as
it
it's
at the
been torn before it's been
this is
deflated.
the peak moment here, which is why this is super metal.
Raptors, great.
Yeah.
You know,
Violence.
dinosaurs are metal.
Dinosaurs.
I mean,
Birds.
they're gonna rip through all the nets and pants there are in their division. So I have to go up to. There's plenty of room for improvement, but just given that the fact that they could maul the fuck out of you, you know, that's a 7.
I agree. 7. Same exact same reasons.
I'm sorry. The Raptors are a 9. Their uniforms are amazing. Their slogan is "We the North." When they were better than they are now, they had a whole like Game of Thrones thing going on. They're the only
going to 8.
They're the only Canadian team in the whole NBA. They're fucking awesome. They shouldn't be as good as they shouldn't have been as good as they were ever. And they were serious contenders for quite a while.
Their very existence makes the name NBA a lie, which is great.
Yeah. Yes. Precisely.
So I'm going to 8.5 now.
Wait, we might have to bump up every Canadian team and or American team in the NHL. Now that I think about it.
Maybe.
Just retroactively change an episode.
Oh, I've been changing the Minnesota Wild score constantly.
You have to be caught up on Podcast Them Down lore to understand what the actual scores are for that episode.
It's a 7.
I mean,
That's it.
I subscribe to a lot of what has been said, but without the enthusiasm.
I moved to an 8.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right. It pains me to say the next team.
Oh.
The Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
Why is it a soft C? That's fucking dumb. And look at this jamoke. Goddamn. All right. Boston Celtics was founded in 1946 as part of the Basketball Association of America, BAA. The team joined the NBA in 1949 as part of the BAA and the National Basket League. The nickname of the franchise was invented by the first owner, Walter Brown, who remarked, "Boston is full of Irishmen." That is a quote. Each version of the Boston Celtics logo closely echoes the nickname and reflects the Celtic theme.
Wait, that quote was closely echoes Celtics, that logo?
No, it's the Boston is full of Irishmen. It's the direct quote. Oh my God. They actually had worse logos than this.
Well,
we should be describing these because
we should be describing these logos. We have been, but
it is the drunk cousin of the Notre Dame fighting Irish guy who's holding a shillelagh, smoking one of those Irish pipes, and spinning a basketball on his finger. And he's winking at me. Stop fucking winking at me.
Now you're missing. You're missing some important details.
The buckle shoes, the shamrock vest, the shamrock bow tie, the hat. What?
Well, he's wearing a shamrock. He is wearing buckle shoes. He is wearing a shamrock vest with a shamrock bow tie and a shamrock ribbon on around his hat.
He's wearing pantaloons.
He is wearing knickerbockers.
I would like to be pedantic. There is no indication that he is spinning the ball. As far as I know, it's super glued to his finger.
Yeah. He is holding the ball up with a finger. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, as a person of Irish ancestry, I always thought the Notre Dame Fighting Irish thing was a racist caricature, but this somehow makes that little mascot look like sensitive and like a well thought out tribute.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's been a smart ass. That's one of the biggest issues here. Look at this guy. He first off, he needs a cane. So clearly he's not one of the players.
You can't play it with a if you need a cane.
I mean, he's gonna get fouled. People are gonna trip him over. This is a lie. This is false advertising, in my opinion.
I find the font offensive.
Yeah.
The kerning's all off.
It's not well placed within the circle.
It is not.
No. You're right. I never know. Yeah, the Celtics part is all next to the border. The Boston part isn't.
The Boston is too close to the basketball.
This is outrageous.
I mean, their uniforms are pretty iconic and nice. I do like the white and green and white. We don't see a lot of green in professional sports other than the Minnesota Wild and the North Stars or whatever they are.
Dallas Stars, Oakland A's.
Okay, but it's
all
still not.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
It's not not a fucking red, white, and blue team. So I'm just gonna give him a 4. It's not the worst, but it's certainly not good, and it's probably the least good in the Atlantic Division.
As much as I hate the logo, they did have Larry Bird, so I'm gonna give them a 3.
I'm gonna give them a 3, and part of it's this there's a Game of Thrones book, I don't remember which one, where Tyrion Lannister describes the sky as being baby shit yellow. And that looks to be like the color of this vest, right? It's like that baby shit yellow. And it just is off-putting the base. I mean, I'll go with a 3. There's no redundancy here, so that, it's at least consistent in itself, but
I'm going to go with a 6. I think the affronting nature and the visceral response it has generated is quite metal.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good point, but I'm not changing.
Yeah, if I raise my score, it'll lower yours, because then my response will be as visceral.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's true. We should all be like, it should be 2s and 8s.
All right, last one in the Atlantic Division, the Philadelphia 76ers. Founded in 1946 and originally known as the Syracuse Nationals NBA team, the franchise moved to Philadelphia in 1963 and became the 76ers, commonly known as the Sixers. The current Sixers logo features the number 76 with 13 stars arranged in a circle, above which represents the 13 original American colonies. I feel like this is the flag episode all over.
Yeah.
So what do the 6 stars around the basketball mean? Is that for the Sixers? Or what is that? Is that for the 6 exits around Philadelphia?
Yeah, maybe it's like the 6. It's 2 counties of each in the tri-state area.
276.
I feel like it's very clear that they hired a graphic designer, whereas the Celtics hired somebody's cousin.
The owner's son.
Right.
Well, did the NBA decree that you have to either adopt your 1958 logo again or make a new fake 1958 logo?
Yeah.
Every single team is leaning into this throwback thing so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Philadelphia's case, I think they very clearly were trying to capitalize on an event that's almost 50 years old now at this point.
Oh, the bicentennial.
Yeah, they're like, well,
Hey.
in 1963,
Well, what's the
when
fancy
they,
word for 250? Because that's coming up.
I think it's called what is it? Sesquicentennial.
Sure.
So they're clearly throughout the 60s and early 70s we're buying in on the spirit of 76, and then I guess they just forgot about it, and in pure Philadelphia fashion, they refused to move on. I do like the name the Sixers, and they have tried to use that as their branding, somewhat like the Knickerbockers, but it just seems very dated to me in an unhelpful way. Like, not in a fun way.
Kind of like Philadelphia.
Kind of like Philadelphia.
I was a little slow. Sorry.
All right. I mean, I'll say this logo is like sleek. You know, it's visually appealing to me, which could remind me of maybe like mid-era Camelot. You know, it's like, you know, it's got kind of like a sleek, smooth approach. It's like, okay, I can see that. However, you know, I feel like I'd be more at home buying an iPod with this logo than I would, you know, rating its metalness. So I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm very much surprised, Matt.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news. I need you to look up the dribbling Ben Franklin logo, because this has changed my opinion about a lot of things. It's Ben Franklin wearing Adidas socks playing basketball in a position that can only be described as anatomically complicated. So this is apparently they were trying to get this going. That's it. Now, if they had the cojones to make this their real logo, that would be a 9-level metal audacious move.
This logo without the 76 part of it looks like clip art.
But unfortunately, I don't think they enacted that. So because of that, they're no better but no worse than the Knickerbockers. So they get a 5 from me.
The older Ben Franklin dribbling logo is much better. Have you found it? Oh, this is from the Knicks? The Knicks had a... Wait, where can I put
There's all kind of... This is... Wow.
Look at this thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a Knickerbocker. I mean, that would give them a better logo, too. It's basically the same fucking logo, just with a jaunty New York gentleman.
So many problems with this
Oh my
logo.
God.
The NBA's always been scrappy, and they don't have money for designers.
Guys just woke up. He wakes up in like...
Oh shit! That's due today.
It's like, I'm just imagining some guy wakes up in like a blown out building on a mattress. He's covered in like vomit and beer, and he finds this sketched on a napkin in front of him. He's like, "This is the one. This
Going
is the
for
new
it.
Knickerbockers logo."
You just slap that on a plain white jersey.
Paint this on the
You know, some
boards
really-
immediately.
Jesus Christ! Ah! Sorry.
Well, I think the 76ers, they're just like, It's so bland and generic, all of it. The logo, the team, the city, the cheesesteak. 4.
All right. Seems fair.
I think there's been an excessive focus on the logo here.
Yeah, it's because we're all
And-
staring at it.
Not on the self-importance and violence of Philadelphia,
I don't know
Yeah,
if this
but-
which
is
is
going to.
very metal
I feel
place.
like
That's
that's
true.
reserved for the Phillies and the Flyers and the Eagles.
No, the Sixers mix it up. It's just as dangerous to go to a Sixers game, especially if you're a Knicks fan. Not so much a
alright.
Wizards fan anymore, but definitely if you're a Knicks fan.
But I really like they use Phila, like
Yeah.
5 letters as a word mark, like the old postal abbreviation. It's pretty metal. So it's a solid 7.5.
Mhm.
You make a good point. I'll go up to a 4.5. All right, that's it for that division. Let's move on to the Central Division, starting with your Chicago Bulls.
Whoa.
The Chicago Bulls joined the NBA in the 66-67 season. The team logo is the face of an angry and fierce bull whose horns are tipped with blood. The Bulls logo and font type has remained exactly the same
Yeah.
since the first year. Fucking Michael Jordan wore this. Scottie Pippen wore this. Those are all the Bulls I can name.
That's a pretty good start.
Continue talking. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Doesn't fucking tell me what to do. I'm not
Derek-
going to
Derek-
talk.
Derrick Rose wore it.
Pete Rose
I-
did not wear this.
No, not Pete Rose.
You said Pete Rose.
No, I did not. I said Derrick Rose. But
You brought
Just checking
calipers. Why'd you bring
I'm
calipers?
just checking something real quick.
Okay.
oh
How
wow.
big the nostrils are.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm gonna just I'm in danger of becoming like the NBA Rube, but I have to give this team and logo and just generically the Bulls franchise another 9. They're iconic. You know, as someone growing up in the 1990s like myself, the Bulls were an institution. Everyone
Right.
you knew had a Bulls starter jacket, and they're just synonymous with basketball. They're synonymous with like ridiculous unbeatability.
Yeah,
they're-
that's basically what I was gonna say. Like
yeah.
they were so good that you look at this logo and you still think they're good, even though they're probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that's Iron Maiden in a nutshell.
Exactly. They're like
They were so good. It doesn't matter what they do now because people will eat it up because they used to be so good and they're probably terrible now, just like Iron Maiden is now.
yeah, they're like the Dallas Cowboys. They haven't won their division in 10 years. But if you just ask anyone, the Bulls are playing the Hornets. Who's winning? They're like, the fucking Bulls are winning.
So what?
Yeah, I concur with the general thrust of all that. It's a 9. Chicago is a great city. It's a metal city. The Bulls have a tradition of excellence and consistency.
And how? And the blood on
Yeah,
the
and
horns.
yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but they had famous Washington Wizard Michael Jordan on the team. Oh my God.
They did.
Oh, yeah, that's a 9 from me as well.
Yeah, number 45.
Yep.
I have to give
45.
I have to give this a 3.
Oh, yeah, why? Even with the blood?
Because Chicago is not centered on this logo.
Oh, no.
Damn it. I'm going down to an 8.
Oh, hold on. He's right.
Oh, that
It's visual.
kerning
And
is
I
all
can
wrong.
prove it.
Bulls.
I can prove it.
Bulls
What is-
fits very nicely between those
Yeah.
horns, but they
Yeah.
fucked
Bulls
up
is fine.
Chicago.
Yeah, the O is like hanging
It's
off the right side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they already cheated the C over. No, it's pushing the O. Yep,
Yeah,
you're right.
no, that-
It's down to 7.
Wow,
That's 2 points right there.
that was a big dive.
But
So much
like,
potential.
I'm actually going to bump mine up to a 9.5 because that's a deliberate choice that could have easily been corrected. And
That's
standing by it is pretty metal.
But like if you look at it, you could argue to yourself for a moment that's like, oh, they're trying to keep like the letters stacked on top of each other, right? Because it almost looks like that.
But yeah,
like the H and the B. But no, it's just fucked up. It's just all fucked up.
And the spacing is strange.
It's just fucked up.
It's almost like they had a logo for the Chi-Cog Bulls, and then someone said it's actually Chicago, and they're like, oh shit.
Like when you start writing a sentence and you run out of paper.
Yeah, you're just like
start writing down the side.
But then they unfolded it. They're like, oh, there's more paper. Put the O back in.
I mean, Mike has done a lot of damage here because now I'm looking. The ears and the horns are disproportionate. Like the right ear is much more in the curve of the horn than I need to stop looking at this. But
bull is very Warner Brothers. I described something as very Hanna-Barbera earlier.
Yeah.
It kind of has a kitschy wannabe Native American kind of 50s vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another reason that I enjoy it is
look at that frown. Look at that frown.
When I was a young person, I was a big fan of the Silverhawks, and there was a robot bull named Mumbo Jumbo who is one of Monstar's henchmen, and the Chicago Bulls bull does look a lot like Mumbo Jumbo. So maybe there's some like something going on, some imagery that has been locked in my young brain.
Well, maybe we should move on before the score continues to fall.
The symmetry in the bull contrasted to the lack of symmetry above. Yeah. Yes, move on.
All right.
Straight zeros.
The Detroit Pistons, established in 1941 as the Zollner Pistons and based
would have been way better.
Based in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The team moved to Detroit in 1957 in order to capitalize on the financial benefits of a larger market as smaller market NBA teams started to fold. The current Detroit Pistons logo is a modern version of the popular 80s and 90s look and feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a basketball, sort of, except it's red. And it doesn't have the lines through it. I like the font. And
the font is nice.
I think just being based in Detroit and being named after a collapsing industry is that's all pretty metal right there. But this logo is not metal, but we have to go beyond the logo. And looking ahead, yeah, I think this needs to be scored relatively high. Especially over the Atlantic Division. So I'm going to go ahead with a 7 on this one.
I mean, we should also mention we haven't been talking about mascots a lot, but their mascot Hooper is a horse wearing a Pistons jersey.
I like it,
which is pretty clever. But I know what you're thinking. Why a horse? Horsepower. That's what those Pistons give you. I mean. I am disappointed that Hooper replaced Sir Slam-A-Lot in 1996 because I think that would be
metal.
That would be a much better mascot, in my opinion. This is a solid team. I'm sure Doug will remind us that Chicago or Detroit is a wonderful place full of good people. It's a contender. I mean, it's not as iconic as the Bulls. It's a 6. It's fine. It's good.
You really think they're as good as the Bookerlin Nets?
Yeah, they're about as good as the Bookerlin Nets.
Yeah, my scores are uncalibrated.
Also, one more. Can I give them a 6.2 because it was a marketing genius to be based in Fort Wayne and not call yourselves the Fort Wayne Pistons?
They're a 7.5, equaling the 76ers.
Ooh.
Though I'm knocking the 76ers down to a 7 because this is what a 7.5 feels like. Great city full of wonderful people. I play right in Midtown, the beautiful Little Caesars Arena. And Detroit's very metal.
I'm afraid I have just seen a picture of Sir Slam-A-Lot. And because of that, I'm going to have to deduct my point 2 because Sir Slam-A-Lot is awesome. He is amazing, and he should never have been retired. He looks like a basketball Power Ranger. And I know what you're asking. Is he wearing red tights and blue shorts? Yes, he is.
I'll give him a 4 because of the horsepower thing. Hey, like if I saw this, I'd just be like, oh, okay. Like, I don't hate this, but it like evokes no emotional response in me.
Oh,
like
well,
they sure are a basketball team.
Yep, they look like they. Actually, I don't know that I would recognize it as a basketball team. Now that I think about it,
you're gonna like the next one.
Their logo is clearly a basketball.
Is it? It's a sphere with like.
No, it looks like it was like a rejected design for like a World's Fair logo or like a repair shop from the 50s.
Okay,
or like a poor representation of like, I don't know, nuclear fusion. You know, like it could really be anything.
All right, okay.
I wouldn't know what the hell this was.
I don't know that there is a single good logo. Asterisk by the Bulls.
There is.
Let's see.
There is.
Oh yeah. There's good logos. Don't worry, Doug.
We have to get to it, but
yeah,
there is.
I'll give you a clue. We're on the wrong coast for good logos.
Speaking of the logos, Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers were first founded in 1967 as a member of the American Basketball Association and became a member of the NBA in 1976. As a result of the ABA-NBA merger, the Pacers logo is a very simple logo with a basketball inside of the letter P. Every logo change over the years is only a slight variation of the same concept. Are they really named after a pace car that is a different sport in the same city?
Yeah, because that's IndyCar, man. That's literally what people know about.
They're obsessed with it. Like they have, you know how with Preakness people dress up stupid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The rich people out there do the same thing, except they all dress in black and white, like the colors of the checkered starting line. They have a kickoff party to that thing.
I'm glad they found a way to make the Preakness seem classy.
Yeah, but
remember Kegosaurus?
Have some confidence. Have some.
I'm gonna go throw up in the outfield of Pimlico.
Have some confidence in your own sport. I mean, the whole concept is just like a pea full of yellow. So I'm gonna give this a 1 because fuck them.
So number 1. Don't name your basketball team.
Indiana sucks.
Yeah.
And if Dave were here,
Tim's really
if Dave were here,
Tim's performing for the TikTok clip.
If Dave were here, he'd give it a 10, I'm sure. So.
I mean, Tim is wrong. Tim is not wrong. First of all, you should not your logo type should not be it should be an I. I mean, you're the Pacers, but usually you go with, the Washington Commanders logo is a big C. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You should rep your town. You could have been the Hoosiers, or I don't even know what the fuck that is, but that's still somehow more relatable than Pacers. You're just reminding us about another sport.
It's like, hey, you could be watching that instead of this game.
I do think that for 1967, the basketball P logo was probably interesting and innovative, but it is very much of its time. It's very much dated. I do appreciate the horizontal lines to indicate motion, But this is garbage. Indiana, sorry, you're one of my least favorite I states. And I'll remind you that Idaho and Iowa are both I states, so just let that sink in. Sorry, this is a one.
Okay, there's a few things going on in this picture, in this logo. All right, so this, for one, this basketball appears to be moving at quite some speed.
That's it.
And yet it's called the Pacers, which kind of it implies kind of maybe like a really measured speed.
Right.
So you want a gentle pass.
Yeah, two, I don't.
Arc. Yeah.
Right. Two, I don't know that functionally in basketball, moving at this speed is going to help anybody. I mean, you could do a pass that fast,
Yeah.
I think. But I mean, the other person's probably
still got to catch it.
yeah, there's going to be an injury.
That's probably not going to help.
Jack Nicholson in the face.
Yeah, so I mean, there's actually looking at this logo, there's a potential that somebody's about to get seriously hurt.
That's pretty metal, though.
Yeah, it is exactly like if on the left side of this logo there was somebody like with like bloodshot eyes throwing this with hate, and the other guy was like full of fear, this would be metal as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So by filling in a few blanks, this ain't bad. That's all I'm saying. I have to give this a 5 for potential for violence.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Now I am actually gonna have to lower my score to a 0.5 because I have discovered that the Pacers minor league team is called the Indiana Mad Ants. And they are superior to the Pacers in every way. Their logo is an angry ant. They're called the Indiana Mad Ants. It's in a wacky, crazy font. This is a basketball team I can get behind. They've won just as many NBA titles as the Pacers. So, I mean, get behind the Mad Ants. That's a real logo. Fucking team there.
That
I
logo
love
is
this
much
ant.
better.
Yeah. I wouldn't fuck with that ant.
That logo is way better.
Well, that Indianapolis, they stole our team. So really the ceiling here was not going to be any higher than a 2.
That's true.
But it's a 1. I really am bothered. The Pacers logo itself is okay, apart from the counterproductive ball throw. But the encasement with the forward lean to the P just doesn't work.
Nope.
The object needs to be centered, and it needs to be fairly symmetrical. I would, so it's a 1. I agree with the Mad Ants.
All right, next. Cleveland Cavaliers first began playing in the NBA in 1970 as an expansion team. They are also known as the Cavs. Delicious. Veal. That's where veal comes from. The current Cavaliers logo tells the story of modern day champions who carry the sword for Cleveland. I don't know how the fuck you get that sentence from that logo. It's a C on maybe a shield, maybe, but not really. And it says Cleveland Cavaliers on it. And I don't know.
It almost looks like if you were a graphic designer student and your homework was coming up, this is what you'd submit. Like, oh shit, I got to Cleveland Cavaliers C on a shield.
Medieval by way of 1954.
Yeah,
but check out the old logo.
I mean,
what?
Gangster as hell.
There's
That's
a sword
amazing.
going through the middle of the sea. Fuck yeah.
Why did they abandon that?
I don't know. And it's recent. This was 2022 when they got rid of it.
Maybe they were too cavalier.
Oh, yes.
They also can't make up their mind on their colors.
Yeah.
They appear to have like 5 different
They do
color
have a lot of
schemes.
colors.
What a disaster.
It's
I do like
wasted
their other
potential here.
logo, the Cavs logo that has the V as the net.
V for V.
It's like a modified older logo type. Huh. Yeah.
Cleveland. I mean, that city, the river was literally on fire.
Yeah.
That's
What is
pretty
it, the mistake?
awesome.
Are they
So-
the mistake by the lake? That's right?
Yeah, and they had potential, but they squandered it. They got rid of the sword. I'm gonna go with a 4, but there is plenty of room for improvement, Cleveland.
Yeah, Tim's right on. It's a 4. Being cavalier is very metal, of course. And there's so many ways this could be an 8, but it's not. It's a 4, and they're lucky to get that.
I'm a little torn here. So Cleveland is a very famous spite team. Thinking back, 10 years ago, LeBron James left them to win his championships with the Heat, and then returned to them and brought them championships. And so everyone simultaneously hated him, and then like 2 years later loved him. So there's lots of anger and spite and kind of self shame isn't the right, like angry shame. I'm sure there's a word for that, but there's a lot of complicated feelings, I think, nestled in here just below the surface. I'm gonna give them a 4. Even though I took a long way to get to the exact same score as Tim and Doug, I think mine has a lot more meaning behind it.
I mean, I guess I'll give it a 4. I mean, it's it's boring, really. Like, but it's at least it's like sort of metal because it's black. I will noting this minor league, or is it minor league? It is basketball minor league, or I don't know. There's another Cleveland basketball team called the Charge.
Oh yeah,
and there's like a guy with a feather in his cap holding a sword.
I mean, this looks like a high school like mascot.
And then one of the Cleveland Charges team colors is called wine. Like, this is another missed opportunity, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They're lucky to get the 4.
Yeah.
We should note that this is kind of a general insight into basketball. So these minor league teams are the G League, and it was originally called the D League for the developmental league. But at a certain point, maybe 5 years ago, Gatorade just bought the naming rights to the league, which is why they're the G League.
That's amazing.
And the logo kind of looks like a monochrome version of the NBA logo with just a big fucking Gatorade logo in the corner.
All right, so there is brand integration. That was my next question.
There's brand integration.
All right.
Well, I was going to say they and every team would lose a point for the Gatorade thing, the G League.
Uh-huh.
But I think putting it in the logo counteracts that.
All right, last one in the Central Division, the Milwaukee Bucks. Founded in 1968 as an expansion NBA team, the nickname Bucks was chosen, which is a reference to Wisconsin's official wild animal, the white-tailed deer. The current Bucks logo features a buck looking ahead, an imposing figure determined and focused on the path in front of him as a car speeds toward him, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't look frightened. He looks angry.
He looks defiant to me.
Yeah.
This is basically the Jägermeister logo, isn't it?
I mean, it pretty much is.
It is, yeah.
Just with more anger.
But floating M is offensive.
I was about to bring up
Yeah.
the M. You're either going to love or hate that M.
That M is not working for me. But if the original logo of the Bucks was a cute cartoon deer wearing a sweater, with the letter B on it, doing it looks very much like the Celtics logo, except less racist, I guess. Maybe
there is motion. There's motion on that
there are
basketball.
little lines. There are little lines indicating motion. It might be racist against deer, but it's not racist against Irish people, at least.
Racist.
I mean, I don't know how deer view themselves. Previous logos, they've gone a little representational here. Like in the 90s and 2000s, they had a disturbingly realistic deer that just didn't look healthy. So I like this deer. It looks kind of sinister and imposing. They've come a long way. I agree with Doug. The M is just an affront to everything.
I don't like how they wrote Milwaukee Bucks on the logo. It should just be the head, even with the M. They did manage to make Wisconsin cooler than it is. Just like the Brewers, you know. But so I'll give them that. There's a lot of satisfying circles in the The graphic designer, I'm sure, drew many faint circles to get those the antlers right.
And consummate V's.
Consummate V's.
I love pointy guitars, and I also love pointy logos, and this is the pointiest logo so far. So I'm gonna give this actually a 6. I think they did a good job. There's room for improvement, though.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and just beyond the logo, I mean, didn't they win the championship somewhat recently?
They won a couple years ago, but they've been in contention. They have won the Central Division for something like 5 years straight. They have come from
suck it, Pacers.
Kind of like a shitty, middling joke of a team to a powerhouse.
Improvement. I don't know if that's metal.
I should also mention that a good friend of mine, Collis Jones, was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks in 1971. So that's a reason to like him. So I will give them a 7. I think it's hard to distinguish yourself in a division that has the Bulls. And they pull it off. And I would like to mention that mammals are the way to go in basketball because that's the ticket to a high score, and or dinosaurs, non-avian dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think the bull.
Milwaukee's a metal place. It's violent, cold, and poor.
Milwaukee Metal Fest. That was like one of the original.
Yeah,
and it's back, I think.
Oh, nice.
Doesn't it mean the good land?
Well, yes, Pete, it does. Milwaukee.
It's a 6. This is like the opposite of the Bulls logo, because this is some snotty contemporary graphic designer who's getting all the balance right, like mathematically, but it doesn't work visually. Mm-hmm. It looks like Milwaukee's kind of slid back.
Yeah.
Even though the relative placement is perfect. And the negative space for Milwaukee Bucks is interesting. I think the logo, to your point, Tim, would work better without that, but it'd be hard to get all the pointless circles in.
I mean, I think just like the Bulls logo, you get an instant impression of it. And then the more you look at it, the more you see problems.
What if there was a basketball in the antlers?
Like in the antlers? No, that's
there might be.
No, I see what you're saying. I actually like this logo. Even with the lopsidedness of the text and things like that, I think it works, right? And even with the M, because you could choose not to see the M and just see it as the top deer's neck.
the deer neck.
a beheaded deer, a taxidermied head, and like a vice.
Oh, there's a couple of those up in Wisconsin.
Right. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I'll give this a 7. I like this.
Nice. Wow.
Doug, are you in an abandoned mall? Is that where you are?
Yeah, this is the Korean wing of Security Square Mall.
Nice.
I love it.
That's still around.
No.
I think they're taking it down.
Nice. All right.
The website's still open.
I think we should call this episode here and
Okay.
do the Southeast and Northwest divisions in the next one. What do you say?
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
All right, until next time, Metal Nation, make sure all your circles are mathematically precise in your pointiest logo ever.
Cast them down.
So Mike is an agitator.